What up, Twitch? It's boy PU to ASU. We're here on a Monday night. I don't know why Joel's face is so big, or Climate Change's face is so big on the screen. We're figuring these things out as we go. Welcome for some Dungeons and Dragons.
I can't see anything on the screen.
I got the poot. There we go. Now
I can see Climate Changer.
All I saw
there he
was,
is.
for the longest time, I saw Climate Changer's face like super zoomed in, and it was like, I was like, ah! And I kept trying to cover it up with the video. So sorry about that, Climate Changer. I don't know why I was doing that, but it cracked me up. It gave me the giggles.
It looks like your
I
connection
feel
to the
very
server
seen
has
right
been
now. Very
interrupted.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix that, but I've just been issues lately.
Now Joel's gone.
I don't know what the deal is.
I can't even see what's going on, guys. All I've got is an ad. So.
There we go. We're normal on stream now.
But ads are good for monetization.
All right. I think we're good.
Getting closer every day to that first paycheck from Twitch.
Love you, Brian.
Just gotta get a couple more of those. It's Monday night, folks. Speaking of.
Yeah, Bezos, show us some love.
What they're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is the fact that you too can support your favorite streamer using Amazon Prime Gaming, which renews how often? How often, Climate Changer? Once a month.
Every month.
There we go. Every
month, my friends.
So every month you can make.
You gotta go through the menu and find this little checkbox at the very bottom.
Unbelievable.
And you check it to support your favorite streamer. Might as well make it this channel. We're trying to grow. We could use the money. We could use the traffic. So I encourage you to check us out. Also find us on social media.
Bezos bucks.
Use those Bezo books. You can do Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter by just searching PU to ASU and you will find me. You can also search for us on YouTube. We have currently all of our episodes, including the campaign that we've been doing this past week and the week before of Frog and Toad, up on YouTube channel as well. And then you can join our Discord for fun memes along the way. Interact with us on our streams by following the funny memes as you go and listen to these stories that we have here on our channel. I think that's all the updates. If you do not follow us on social media, I will go ahead and say you're missing out.
Memes.
I am very happy and proud with my most recent Instagram,
You
Twitter,
don't follow us on social media, I will
Facebook.
follow you to your home.
Wow, well, that's PS Zombie. It's not. He's an independent agency of PUTSU, so he's gonna do he's gonna follow people. That's not what we support. But we also encourage autonomy on this channel. So if that's
He's
how
a contractor.
yeah. It's an ad hoc relationship. But yes, if you haven't seen our Instagram or our Facebook or Twitter, check it out because it's a great post that was graphically designed to fit with what we did last week. So check it out. I think PS Zombie liked it pretty good. Climate Changer
Graphically designed.
and
It was designed with blood.
Did you see it, Battle Armor? Did you see the work that went into that? You should check it out and let me know.
I have not. Oh, I am seeing it now. Wow.
Yeah.
Remarkable.
See, they all rant and rave about it.
It's a nice neutral
Love the
statement.
lawsuit.
Yeah.
Worthy of remark.
I am remarking upon it.
I am
I like
marking it. Okay. I think we will be
It's truly a
taking.
post that exists.
I think we will be taking a break next week from Frog and Toad. But I hope you've enjoyed that. I've enjoyed it. It's been a fun campaign for us to play through and do. I've enjoyed watching the characters, and I've enjoyed watching them barely survive the encounters. So check out Frog and Toad if you haven't. It is a hoot and a holler.
Just twinning everything.
Twinning spells, twinning
A lot of fun.
frogs and toads, twinning amphibians. It's all fun. So there's that announcement. The Unbeaten Path we'll have again next week. We're playing it tonight, so stick with
Climate Changer,
us.
some of what you're playing is coming through. Also,
You guys
am I on a
hearing the background on me?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
And then last announcement I will make is that
Also, am I on a terrible delay with Craig?
I don't think so.
Yeah, he keeps pausing a fair bit after
Like
I've
very
said
late.
what Yeah.
You-
So Craig,
normal on mine.
Respond with the word "to" when you've heard this.
2.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah, that
it's
was
like
a-
15 seconds.
Yeah, it's a monstrous delay, Craig. It's a
Uh,
monstrous delay. You'll start to hear it as we go through, but yeah,
I do not know.
It's many
I'm not
seconds.
entirely.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Are you listening to
things
us through
are the
stream or
things
Steam or through
are
the
things
stream?
they
Because if
are.
you're listening to us through the stream, that would explain the delay.
I'm not. I'm listening to you through Steam. It's so sad that you can't keep things working for more than a few days.
It's so odd.
Anyway,
Yeah,
last
super
announcement
normal, too.
I will make is that you don't want to miss the Unbeaten pack next week. And you also don't want to miss the fact that me, Climate Changer, and PS Zombie are hanging out this weekend. So we may be streaming some stuff on the weekend, so make sure to check social media for those announcements. And I will kick it over to PS Zombie and not talk as much so that the delay doesn't hem us up. Perhaps the board game as well. Go ahead, PS Zombie. You have control.
Howdy, welcome back, viewers. I was already. Howdy, we're back once again. Quick recap. We had the second half of our combat started 2 weeks ago. Good times were had with the sort of anti-magic. The climax of that was Malvagil, the wizard, chose to flee the battle. The other combatants gave up, surrendered, and our heroes managed to escape. On their way out, Mubis found a belt of dwarven kind that was promised to him by the Durgar inmate, whose only request is that he took the Thrustweb sword and left the Ashen Kingdom so that it wouldn't fall into the hands of the Drow. This was very important to him for reasons. And once they left, our heroes, they found their way back to Crumb, who was the father of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that they had met previously. They were able to have a rest, and Lupus was able to get all his gear back. And that's about where we ended. Well, they found out that the entrance to the path is somewhere in the Grey Empire, which is the Durgar and Sverfelvin Kingdom.
A valiant attempt anytime you try it.
Sverfelvin.
So it's first Sverfelvin.
The Smurfs?
I searched it earlier today, and then of course
Spur Goblin.
Sverf Neblin.
Sverfniblin.
It's Neblin at the end. There you go. Swerve.
The DM has spoken.
That's what it
So,
is
yeah.
in this world. If it's pronounced somewhere else, that's not canon to Unbeaten Path. That's forgotten.
That's
lore.
right.
Forgotten.
That's right. If you do a
Forgotten
bad
realms
French
canon.
accent,
Nibbling
ah,
Smurfs.
screw you.
Yeah.
This race
That's
has
how
a
this
bad
works.
French accent.
My accent is a bad French accent. Classic.
All right, so we'll do quick character introductions. We can start with battle armor, per usual.
Yeah. As always, I'm Karos Fester. Well, my character is Karos Fester. I am battle armor. I am an Avarial Artificer, level 6. Pleased to be here. I'm sort of the party's tank.
I am a climate changer playing Alibaba, the warlock tiefling, the caster of the group. He can fly. Okay.
I am
And
P-U-T-A-S-U.
Anubis.
I'm PASU, and I play a Mubis Coffin. I am a Minotaur race, cleric class, specifically Path of the Grave domain. And that's me. I have a creepy sword that I carry with me called Thrustweb, and now I have a fancy new belt.
Swell.
That's Mubis.
Fancy belt.
Sounding good. So, you found your way to the hut here. It's a nice little safe spot. This friendly weir rat Crumb. He's like a weir rat, but he doesn't transform. He's just always in weir rat form.
He's always
Sure. Generalized rat.
Yes, Ratman. There's not a specific race. Even when they did the,
I think
I know there's rabbit folk now. I was surprised with the Eberron they didn't, because Warhammer has a rat race called Skaven.
You mean magic?
Oh, magic. Didn't they do a Warhammer one too? No, Warhammer is its own.
Warhammer's its own thing.
RPG.
Magic
right,
is
that's
magic
right.
is
Magic. I don't think has it. They do have a weird,
which is
rat race,
rare.
though, don't they?
Yeah, I know they've got the Leonin, and then they've got
that's right. Yeah.
they've got the elephant people.
Yeah,
I don't know if they.
one.
I can't think of any particular rat people. We'll walk them. So
You're told generally how to head towards the Grey Empire through the sewer system, which is what they use to traverse the Underdark. And you get a long rest here, which I believe all of you have already done. Put in. If not, you can do that now. Sort out your spells and all that. Remembers dreams. Samubis as the one who is so inclined to do so. We'll go to this dream state. Whoa. You're not all here.
should we be pronouncing it more like Kofin? Amubis Kofin. Because I don't
coffin.
know. Yeah. I feel like I've been pronouncing it Cowfin this entire time, and I think it should be more like Kofin.
Please tell me how to pronounce my name.
Cider. Kofin.
It's a family name, and we say Calvin.
Yeah.
Because I may have only just gotten the joke this time that he said it. It may have been...
Anubis is also the god of the dead in Egyptian lore. I don't know if you know this.
Yes, okay. I got the Anubis thing. It was the coffin bit that I never put two and two together.
It was a layered pun that.
Because he's a grave cleric. It's a coffin.
29 episodes, folks.
Fully half of the podcast did not.
Oh wow.
Whatever this is, the stream.
That makes sense. I thought he was just being creative, man.
9 episodes.
We got there.
The prestige.
Mubis, you have a dream, as is typical of your dreams that you've been having of late. You find yourself in the first-person perspective of some gargantuan being. You cannot see exactly who or what you are. as you can only see what's in your field of vision. But as a reminder to people in the past, you have seen your hands, and the only thing remarkable about them is that they are in chains. Across from you, in front of you, there is a almost like a game board, for like a board game, but it's a maze, and within this maze are small stones, a blue stone, red stone, yellow stone, that seem to be getting moved through this maze. And on the other side, across from you, you see a personification of your god Ubtao, who is he's a somewhat lean looking humbly dressed fellow with a very elaborate tribal mask covering his entire face. You're also the two of you seem to be sat on an island, but you can see that the trees seem to be only a couple inches tall to you. You are gargantuan beings. And as you look down at this board, it in the past has raised and lowered and is currently set down into the ground somewhat. And you see your hand, your chained hand, move forward to where the stones are and begin tracing a line as through the maze. And you see your hand guide through winding paths and heading towards a certain area of the maze that's covered. All the rest of the maze is exposed. This place has a stone, almost like granite seeming cover, and it takes up a large portion of this maze, like probably nearly a quarter, but it doesn't extend all the way to the edges. But it's just a huge square of covered space. And when you reach that part of the maze, you place your hand down upon it, and where your hand touches starts to glow red. And the entrances to this covered part of the maze start spewing fire out of them. When you lift your hand off, it's got a handprint on it that glows red, and fire is shooting out of the paths that lead into the covered portion of the maze. And as you raise your eyes up to look at Ubtao, he sits cross-legged with his hands on his knees and looks at the flaming portion of the maze, looks back at the stones, looks at you, gives a nod of approval. And that's when you wake.
Interesting.
All right, it is the following morning. And you guys are back in control. You are fed more Underdark food, which, is probably not to the standards of most surface food you've had. But it's like, it's meat, it's mushrooms. If anything, it's like blander than most food you've had. There's not a great diversity of like tasty plant here in the Underdark, and so seasoning is perhaps lacking. There's plenty of salt, which is nice.
It's sort of an umami palette. Everything kind of is reeking of umami, because you got mushrooms, you got meat, you got salt.
Yeah.
That's
These are the
you're gonna hit some umami notes for sure.
Yeah, there's maybe like potentially some seaweed in there, like just anything that doesn't require massive amounts of light.
I think you can generate MSG from seaweed.
Oh, really? Yeah, it's just solid MSG.
Yeah, it's derived from seaweed. Monosodium glutamate was discovered more than 100 years ago by a Japanese
There you go.
chemist named Kikune Ikeda, who derived
Everybody
it from
has
seaweed.
migraines.
It's actually a myth.
everyone has a migraine now. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a full whole myth, completely unsubstantiated. Nobody gets migraines from MSG.
Unless it's the Underdark.
Could be from dehydration,
Yes,
which
that I would
excessive
buy.
sodium could cause.
Yeah, there's a lot of salt and a lot of salt water, not a lot of fresh water.
Yeah. So, anyways, you're fed. You are given. You can get some rations as well from them. They are capable of finding their own. I'd say they're essentially outlanders, which means they can find lots of food canonically.
Just around.
Yeah. Is there anything you guys would like to do, or are you going to head out? What are your thoughts?
I try to explain
I
my
think
dream.
Alibaba would definitely thank them for all the help, and like.
Still you go for it, Craig, whenever you want to, and just talk over us, and we'll stop talking because I think we're in line with stream. Maybe no, that can't be true.
So
Yeah,
as Alibaba's
Very
talking,
weird.
he gets interrupted by Anubis, and everybody's.
He's like, thank you so much for your husband. I had a dream. Yes, they do not. They dismiss your thanks and say, "Oh, it's nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing." They don't see too many friendly faces. They're like smack dab between two warring kingdoms and are happy to have someone. Oh no, I'm giant on the screen to help along.
I think the videos are moving around, and
What up, Twitch? It's your boy Pu to ASU. I'm here with the Putu crew. Putu crew, how are ya?
What up? Doing great.
Bueno.
They're good. So welcome to the Pu to ASU channel. Thank you for clicking on us. We apologize for last week. It was a little mucky. We had some technology issues that we sort of figured out. We'll see how this new setup works. And hopefully we won't have any more issues like that again. So we did not get a chance to do Frog and Toad last week also. So we just got a lot of catching up to do. We got to catch up tonight, and then we got to do a little Frog and Toad next Sunday. So stick with us, and we appreciate the support. Reminder,
I heard
everyone,
there
you
was
can find us
a
on
there was
social
a
media,
great
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
I heard there was a great
Go
Divinity
ahead.
Original
Great
Sin
what?
stream. A great Divinity Original Sin stream that came on. So feel free to check out the VOD for that. I'm gonna
You
do that
heard
myself.
right. 5 hours,
We might
the
have a
longest I've ever streamed on this
hours.
channel.
Yeah, we're still not sure if we're going to upload it as
Yeah.
one big chunk
So it's
or
pretty
do
crazy.
some editing. Let's just say that during the level up, there was perhaps some downtime where all of us were just staring at stats for an hour. But
Classic.
well, I didn't know what my main
Me and
stat
PS
was.
Zombie
It took
listened
me
to
a
the
really, really
rollback
long
a little
time.
bit. Me and
Yeah,
PS Zombie listened to
I
on the
don't know, I
drive
think it's all
back
pretty
from
entertaining.
our hangout. We listened to the rollback, and it's a lot of clicking and sitting for a little bit. So we're definitely gonna probably chunk it a little bit. We'll see. But yeah, it's fun. There's a couple funny moments I'm gonna clip. Like one moment in particular where a climate changer gets attacked for no reason by wildlife. It's very funny, and it's worth the watch. So check it out.
Yeah, enemies definitely have attack least armored enemy function because our boy Climate Changer
They
had a
just
big target on his
ate
back.
me alive for like every combat. It's awesome.
Two
He was
little production notes. One, I think we might be on a slight vocal delay for some reason with Craig. I don't know why, but it seems like it might be the same as last time, because it seems like we're interrupting him sometimes, / he is interrupting us. And two, mine and Joel's faces are swapped on Twitch. I am not playing Alibaba. I refuse to play Alibaba, frankly.
I would never play Kairos. Never.
Unless there's some sort of
you guys
Freaky
keep hopping
Friday.
around.
Although
Freaky
Battle
Friday
Armor
body
did play a
swap
Warlock
in.
once. in his own.
I
There we
have,
go.
Well,
I have
long time
played
ago.
Warlocks before. Yep. Finley Rain.
You guys keep
That's his
swapping.
name.
We should
He's
have
a
that delay
fiend.
fixed now. I think my phone was on Wi-Fi, so now we're doing cell data. So I think we're good.
Let's check it out. You know how we do this. They roll for insight.
I don't have a dice right here.
No, I just say the phrase. Just intimidate. Say intimidation.
18. I just guessed that number. I roll 18.
Oh, no.
I don't think
It is
this is
definitely delay.
what it's supposed to.
I don't think this is a delay issue. I think it's
I think
a
this,
somewhat different
Okay.
issue.
say Frog and Toad are friends.
Frog and Toad are friends.
Huge delay, massive. Several seconds worth.
We should just try to do it. There's just gonna be really long delays between everything. you say.
Awesome. I mean, I'm not the DM, so I don't need to. My delay is okay, so I'm fine just sitting in the back seat.
Well, I mean, you're gonna have a turn every time we have combat, and that's gonna make it kind of difficult.
Why?
I'm
why
not
do you
saying
say
that there's gonna be a
seems-
combat, but this is D&D. There might be a combat.
You're standing in the splash zone for a combat.
We could just say Amogus got hit on the head. He's lost a few intelligence points, and he just takes a really long time to respond.
Do we want that dead air?
Milk has been shaken.
See, that was a great joke that if somebody had been talking over, it would have been ruined.
Anyway.
It's whatever, I suppose.
You want to roll for it?
We'll just roll with it. PS Zombie, go. You can talk now. I will try to just use chat. I'm sitting in the back seat. Welcome to our channel.
Well,
We do
alright,
have a-
welcome back to the Unbeaten Path. Last week, unfortunately, technical issues plagued us, and we were forced to cut it short. This week we have similar technical issues, but we are older and wiser, and we're going to try to work around them, I suppose. In recent times, we escaped from the Ashen Kingdom of the Drow, received some assistance from Crumb and his Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle sons. They have taught us a way to get to the Grey Empire of the Dark Dwarves, where we believe the entrance to the path is likely. It's going to be a trip through the sewers, as is Ninja Turtle tradition. I think that's pretty much a decent recap. Hopefully you've seen last episode by now. It's been 2 weeks.
Catch up, man.
Yeah, I guess in light of technical difficulties, I'll just introduce your characters. That way, Mubis doesn't have to try to jump in.
This will
So
be
first up
interesting.
is Battle Armor, who is playing Karos Faystar, who is a Avarial, Sky Elf, Winged Elf, Artificer of the Armorer variety. He has a lovely suit of armor that he uses for combat. We have Amubis Cowfin, who is a Grave Cleric Minotaur, who has his god Ubtao, who is a god of mazes and labyrinths. And then we have Alibaba. I believe you did give him a last name, but I do not remember what it is. And he is a.
Yeah, I don't think I did. If I
It
did,
looks like Orphan Naus or something on stream. I'm reading it off. Alibaba Orphanius.
okay.
And
Something like that. It's a bit low quality.
he is a
Can't quite see it.
tiefling warlock with a Ifriti patron, a fire genie, and he's a little bit of a shady type, but certainly solid enough
Lovable
to
rogue.
work with on a regular basis. He's
A
more
real
of like
Han
a
Solo
Robin Hoodie type, rob from the rich, give to the orphans. From
Sort
the
of a
rich, from the
trickle down.
poor. From
Rob-
anyone who's
Rob-
nearby.
Rob
Give
from
to
people, give to me, and then just sort of the
And trust
orphans
I'll give it to
do
orphans
benefit
one
as
day.
well.
Yes. These are our characters. I don't think. I'm just going to go ahead and say that we're not going to upload anything from last week.
Probably
The
not.
technical difficulties were severe. So we'll do a quick version of what did happen. So, as we take a long rest and have a lovely sleep at the hospitality of Crumb and Mordenkainen, his Ninja Turtle son, Amubis has a dream, as he is prone to. And his dream follows the typical format of him seeing in first person as a being yet unknown to him, sitting in front of a miniature maze, almost like the board of a board game, that contains some small beads, a red one, a yellow one, a blue one. These are surmised to be allegorical of our party. Across from him sits Ubtao, his patron god, in his personified form, which is that of a somewhat slim man in very simple clothes with a elaborate tribal mask on. They sit on an island, a miniature jungle type island, and by the looks of things, they are many hundreds of feet tall, giants on this land. As Amubis sees from the first person view of this being, he sees his chained hand reach out towards a section of the maze in front of him that is covered in granite. Most of the maze has an open top. It's a wooden maze that is like, the maze you might see, like one of those little toys that you roll a bead around in and try to get at the end. But this section is unusual in that it has a granite covering. You can't see the maze underneath. He sees his chained hand reach out over that portion of the maze, and you can see it begin to heat up, and fire begins to spurt out from the exits that are under the granite. and where his hand is leaves a red mark of almost melted stone. And this is along the path that the beads will take. He then looks up to Ubtao as if to gauge his reaction. And Ubtao merely looks on, looks at the granite, looks at this being, and nods his head in approval. And that's the end of the dream. I think that was pretty much right. So that's where you all wake up. Maze things, yes. On my beautiful map. So you wake up. You are still within the hut of Crumb. And today's the day, I reckon y'all might set out. You're free to do as you please if you have more conversations to do.
Anubis shares the dream.
Sorry for the tech difficulties. No worries. Is that where you're communicating? Where are you communicating? You can send it over text, climate change. I share my dream with the party. I don't know what to make of this.
I don't know if there is much to
he
make
shared
of
the
it.
previous dreams as well, I believe. So
Mhm.
they are following him in this journey of discovery with his god.
It's
I don't
contextual.
know what it means either. Sounds like
You
you
feel
were a
it's-
god in your dreams for a little while. I mean, no big deal.
Is it allegorical, or is there some sort of guidance you're supposed to take from it? Is your hand representative of your caution, your anxiety, and your god is trying to comfort you, or is this a very direct thing about us? It's difficult to tell. I don't often interact with gods. I don't know how helpful they usually are. I found mostly platitudes to be
I feel
the
it's
domain
pretty
of
vague
gods.
compared to my experiences with extraplanar beings. It's a pretty vague conversation they are having.
Well, most of my experience with interplanar beings is like the path, and
Hutu, you can roll religion if you'd like. If you want to see if you can glean more insight.
I'm not atheist. I know that there are gods. I just there are explicitly some gods.
There are undeniably gods.
Yes, I personally just am not, worshiping.
You
them.
just don't talk to them much. Okay.
Yes, I mean there are also dogs, but I don't worship them. Like, I can know a thing exists without feeling indentured to it. Yes, roll that religion then.
Let's hope they weren't listening.
I'm also positive they were. I'm fairly certain they hear most things. I don't think I should be smitten for that. Smited. Is smiting and smitten the same thing? Like,
Did he roll?
are you smited or were you smitten?
It's a tough one.
Smite head. How about that?
Smite head.
Yeah, it's the same. Smite, smitten.
Smitten?
Okay.
He smites the water with his sword.
Yeah. But it's funny because smite you think of like being struck by lightning, and smitten you think of
Yeah.
wow,
Love.
this person's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Apparently, it's all the same. Schmeisen, Tiefling.
Supposedly.
You want me to roll for you, man?
Yeah, I have control of your character, so if you need me to roll. Just to speed
There it
things
is.
up, I can. A 13
Pretty
religion.
good religion. +5. Not the roll, obviously.
Let me rethink what might. So I would say that you definitely glean that there is a connection between. That's not a bad one. I think we have an over expectation of what rolls on to do. I think 13's just fine. You definitely feel that there is a link between your dreams and the things that go on with you, especially with your dreams about Ouroboros being remarkably similar to the things that then came to happen of you. So you could surmise that the granite portion of the maze could represent the Grey Empire. But you find it notable that in past dreams, when something negative appeared to be happening, it was often that Uptow would intervene in the dream. And it was notable that this time he did not.
He
And you're not
seemingly
sure if
approved
this
of it.
means that you are abandoned or that he has confidence that all will be well. But you can reckon it's one of those two.
Either your god has abandoned you and everything you know is a lie, or
Or
this
it's
is
just
supposed
great.
to be happening. Yeah.
Gents, we know that the infernal plane may be in our future. Wonder if heat is associated with warming. Warning. I'm
sort
guessing
of a
that was a
global,
typo.
sort of a global warning. Yes.
Mm-hmm. We have a global warning situation here. Things are.
Yes. That. I
Good
mean,
thing
that's
I'm resistant to fire.
Ideally,
not
yes.
not to harp on my thing a whole lot, but I mean, I don't think we really need a god to tell us that going into a demon-infested city, well, demon-besieged, I suppose, city that has already, contains some of our enemies is terribly dangerous. It seems fairly dangerous on the face of it. Shun the non-believer.
Whatever
Come back,
unbeliever,
my friend. So you best
Shun.
make
says
peace.
Anubis.
You best make peace with some.
Shun.
All right.
Shun the non-believer. Lord.
Yep.
Well, I'm just saying that Karos also bears the symbol of a god, but no one's been calling him under god. Or everything against a female personification. But
It's true. Why
no one's
my,
made mention of
even
his god.
even my partial god, who I'm mostly just getting used to, is well
You do-
respected.
You do have a very subtle symbol that most probably would not know. So
It's
haters gonna
it's a
hate.
traditional.
I think that's fair. I think most of the people you've met have been haters here in the room.
Alibaba's like, well, okay. I think we should just move along before this gets out of hand.
Move along.
Move along.
I just feel like that's what Fuchu would have said.
Yes.
Okay, I've said.
Yes, if you would like to
Move
begin your
along.
journey, it
Yeah.
is, he says.
Let's get it going.
Yeah, so you'll say your goodbyes to Mordenkainen. He
Thank them.
He obviously would like to come with, but he feels a burden of responsibility to Crumb, who is very evidently an elderly being and requires some protection and care, especially all of you knowing how dangerous the Underdark is. His responsibility wins out, and he does not even ask to come.
I mentioned to Mordekainen at some point that if he ever needs to make his way into the path for any reason, that you do need a group of 3, but we are particularly associated with a group of sea elves, and there's just the 2 of them. It's a brother and sister, and I think they would be willing to join you on your quest if you ever have need to make it into the path. The three of you could form a pact and foray in, just as an option. I didn't know if you had too many friends here in the Underdark, but they were kind to us, and I tend to think would be kind to you. So I give them a little bit of information about the sea elves who helped us.
Far out. That's awesome. We don't. That's one of the few places that we don't have a convenient path to. So, I'll know to seek them out in the future.
Yeah, I'll give him a little instruction about how to
Yeah.
go
So
back
you'll
there.
kind of
We
give
were
a description, and as
it was
best
kind
you
of a far way
remember,
away, and
the way you made it from them to here.
Yeah.
And obviously you passed like through the Ashen Empire, so like it was not a very convenient way, but it was a way.
Yeah.
And he knows what to look out for. And certainly, as he explains to you that they didn't have much contact with sea elves, the knowledge that sea elves are is amicable.
They seem
the
to
word?
be good people. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
that he
copacetic.
knows that they may be worth seeking out in the future.
Yeah, honestly, just in general, not even if they need to go to the path, just maybe go hang out there in general. It's a cool place. I could dance to it.
I don't remember if turtles can breathe underwater.
That would be interesting if they could or could not. Rats certainly can't, but
yes, rats cannot. But you know that
hold breath for an hour at a time.
Ovid can.
You can hold your breath for a full hour. So that's
pretty
cool.
good amount of time. Better than con mod minutes or whatever.
What's the cooldown on?
Which is still insane, but like
yeah.
I is just like some guy can hold my breath for 4 minutes. Like it's insane. But yes,
you are a hero.
It's true. But I mean,
like any
D&D
character you in real life have never met someone as capable as that.
It's true.
They're heroes
in literally any of their like stats.
Yes.
Although I think the strength scaling is weird.
Because some of the feats are human.
Yeah, I think the best heavy lifters can lift better than 20 strength, but like there are some
probably not better than 20 strength.
It's something weird because like the lifting and carrying capacity.
Also, there's not like official 5e. Like they adapt 4e and stuff. And
they sometimes do that. That's true.
Anyway,
they probably just play tested it and broke the game if you could.
If you could just like lift huge amounts, yeah. Twice your 30 times. Okay, in pounds, 30 times your strength score. So 600 pounds you can push, drag, or lift if you're 20 strength, and that's not that ridiculous.
Yeah, I guess that's right.
But true. I mean, it's like it's not hard. Oh. No, never mind. Okay, yes. So that's without slowing down. So that's, anything beyond that.
That I think is a feat beyond most.
Just like picking up 600 pounds and waddling, what is it? 5 feet per second at that speed. Like you're doing okay. For barbarians, like,
Well, barbarians are stronger than that even, but.
Yeah, 24. That's true. An advantage.
Y'all will head out, and you're going to follow the instructions given you by your new friends and head towards. There you go. The complex sewer systems that lead towards the Grey Empire. If everyone can see that. I think you probably can.
Mhm.
You find yourself in a damp, dark sewer, and this is it is larger and in many ways more well crafted than the sewers leading to the Ashen Empire. You gather that in typical dwarven fashion, um, building it was half the fun for them. So they have very precise arches and certainly an efficiency to their design that the elves more have infinite time to work on stuff pretty much. So they get it done, but any given part of it might have been built centuries after the last bit because it
They
doesn't
took a
matter that
break
much to
for
them.
for a while, for like 50 years. Took a little break.
While the dwarves, they can't help themselves. They just love building.
Real
Um,
DIYers. Dwarf it yourself. DIY.
so yes, this was um, more or less where the detailed instructions of where to go ended. You gather that
Mm.
through the sewer system, there are potentially a number of ways to actually get into the Empire. Um, this tends to be more or less as far as they go and just scavenge off of what they might find here.
Have we? If I'm just wondering, has the water flow been going in the same direction that we're walking, or is it going against us?
Um, I'll say the water flow tends to. Yeah, right now it's going the same direction as you're going, as in it's going to go towards the right of the map
Like I'm
currently.
trying to determine if we were continually like going in the same direction, if we're getting closer, or if it was just totally random, and we have no idea how close or how far away we are from.
No, so this is, you get the feeling that this is an this is water coming into the Empire from rivers. Those same kind of rivers that you encountered that giant octopus and skipped by is
Mhm.
being fed in this way. So it's kind of a two-way water treatment system, and this is all pretty fresh water here, and it's going towards the right of the map. Um, so you gather that it's going into the Empire. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
So
Yeah, y'all can.
we can basically follow the flow of the water, and it'll take us
Yes,
towards
that's
something.
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, y'all are in control now.
All right.
Sounds good. I'm gonna sort of be peeking my head in every little corner and whatnot. What's over in here? What's this little inlet?
Yeah, so dark in there, but you can see with your dark vision. This looks like it was probably some sort of um, area where someone was stationed once upon a time. It is currently empty. You can give me an investigation check if you want to look around it.
Yeah. Wow. 16.
Cool.
Only roll 8s.
Is that a staircase in that room? It is in the art. It doesn't go anywhere right now.
I kind of interpreted it as a bed.
Like they hadn't maybe finished constructing where it might go.
Yeah, I probably see it more as like some stored scaffolding in there that was probably once used to work on it. As you look around, you see some like mostly used candles, some spare wood. This is remnants of when this was being constructed. This was some sort of station that they were using as a hub while they were working on stuff, which has since been abandoned-ish. Like they would probably use it if there was ongoing work needing to be done, but currently it's just more or less a closet.
Mhm. Any blueprints or anything in there?
No, this it was things that were of use would have been taken with. The things left behind are materials that could potentially be used again. You know, tiles, chunks,
Yeah, that makes sense.
odd chunks of wood and granite that like there wasn't an immediate use for, but it's like, hey, this might be useful one day.
It matches with this wood over here, so why don't we just leave it down here? I say we just keep following the direction of the water until we come across something
Yeah. So
interesting.
as you reach this this section here, where there's like a
Little pool.
almost like a fork, it almost forms like a roundabout. The water swirls here in the center area, like here, you know, and it flows. It flows outwards in both directions. Some of it feeding down towards the south, and some of it feeding towards the east. And uh,
So we could probably take either direction almost.
well, yeah, it's just kind of unclear with the way the water feeds.
Okay. Interesting.
Which
It's a
way
feat of
exactly?
engineering. I'm impressed, certainly.
Yes, that's one thing you gather, especially you personally.
Can I make an Arcana check?
What are you looking for
See
specifically?
what's magica.
Just any evidence of magical devices or maybe past magical. Just a different version of an investigation check.
Yeah. Go ahead. Ooh, big numbers. So let me have it. So everything you're seeing is of natural engineering. Like this is
Okay.
there's no runes, there's no sign of anything that's suspended or held together by supernatural means.
Or like traps. Magical traps. Not
you don't see anything like that.
Okay.
But as you look around, and you have been the one who's spent the most time in these sewer systems and river systems and such. You can't help but have your eye drawn to the water, and there's something about the way it's flowing that just doesn't look right. Like you can see the way the water is entering this roundabout every area, and you can see the way it's exiting, and there's something about it that just doesn't read as functional from a physics standpoint. You're like, the water shouldn't
Just
behave
doesn't make
like
sense.
that. It should flow either way, but there's not really a good reason it should be swirling here. And you definitely feel that there's something wrong with this water here.
I think Alibaba would, noticing that would probably want to push it a little further, and he might just take out his ink pen and throw it into the water.
Your pen?
Yeah.
All right, you'll chuck. You'll
I
chuck.
only have so many things I could throw.
Yeah, you don't have to throw something so useful if you want to.
Yeah, or look around for a rock. How about that?
We have rocks
That's
and
just-
there's
that's just fine.
planks and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of materials about. You find that
We can
the
play poo
dwarves who
sticks with it.
constructed this very neatly stacked like bricks, bits of wood along the walls, anything that might be useful or needed prepared. Yeah, Amuba says a stone on the ground. He sees you about. Amuba sees you about to throw your pen, and he's like, "What if we, what if we try something a little bit less valuable?" That's my Amuba's voice.
Okay, all right. That's
Pretty good.
And so you chuck a stone in. Thank you. Puchu says good voice. You chuck a stone in and you see it get caught in this whirlpool of water. And as it swirls around, you see it swirl towards the center where it spins and then holds for a brief moment. And then it gets pushed out of the swirl and down the lower path.
This is a mystery to me.
Does it separate solids from just clean water? Would be an interesting. It would be an interesting thing if it did.
I think Amubis wants to.
Amuba says the lower path.
Yes, there's a lot of paths everywhere.
Yes. But this is going to be a lowercase p path here.
It's certainly interesting. I can't really fathom what this would be for if it weren't for some step of a purification process. It's possible it if anything gets caught in
Sadly.
the river stream, it separates it. And
As you're
do we really want to
pondering,
go where these solids are?
as you're pondering the fate of this stone, the water begins to lap up on the ledge where Alibaba threw the stone. Every couple of seconds, the water comes a little higher and splashes up. You find yourself eventually having to. Amuba says, "I don't like it. It's not natural." You find yourself having to step back, almost like ocean waves on the shore, to not get touched by the water.
a little wet foot.
And it continues to come closer and closer to you.
Let's go in the opposite direction of that.
Perhaps we back up a little bit, according to Amubis's.
I think we better move, says Amubis.
It's possible it could be a joint security and purification system. Not that this is particularly dangerous right now, but perhaps it notices if something is living.
As it eventually splashes up in the area you were all the way up to the wall, you can see the swirl move from that intersection towards where you are and continue lapping up on the shore.
Oh, some sort of water tornado.
I am very scared now.
Is it going especially fast?
Not really. It's lapping up on the walkway, and kind of inching along, just getting a little bit, a few feet each time almost like it's feeling for something there.
It's like a
I
water amoeba thing. That's okay.
I'm gonna take a stone off the ground and chuck it in the opposite direction, like upstream of like where we were. So how do I ping somewhere?
You hold it down.
Yeah, why don't
There it is.
you
That direction.
why don't you give me a why don't you give me an athletics check? It's like a strength-based attack roll. See how far away you can get it. So yeah,
13.
you take a pretty good chuck at this stone. We'll do maybe like twice that. We'll say 25 feet. So here-ish. You chuck this stone, and before it can reach the surface of the water forms up and catches the stone in midair. And you see rise from the water the form, an almost womanly form of water, as a water weird rises up from the sanitation area, and everyone may roll initiative.
Water weird.
Everyone loves a good water weird.
Never heard of a good water weird.
Let me pull up the initiative order. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, there you go.
Bow.
I believe Joel's used one as campaign before.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I think I used it way too early in your levels. It does look different in dark mode.
The turn order?
Just like the interface and everything. I guess maybe
I think they just updated it. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just good to see some support.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm just going to put you in the actual order.
And
then sadly change your number.
Rolled a natural 1, but still got ahead of the enemy, which is fun. That's what a good dex will get you.
All right, I feel like very appropriately due to the fact that you were the one who initiated, quite literally.
Mm-hmm.
Karos, it's your turn first.
Okay. I don't know if it's made any terribly aggressive moves against us. I never quite know how to reason with this. No, that's right. Karos.
Can you speak elemental?
I was just looking to see what my languages were. Draconic, Elvish, Gnomish. Better than pissing on the water.
You had to piss off the water.
I don't know.
Well, I am going to just take this moment to prepare myself in case anything goes down. I'm gonna tap my armor, and a couple of jets of steam come out, and the air starts to get a little bit hazy, and a couple of duplicate mirror images of me show up. And I'm going to walk over in front of Amubis and Alibaba because they were on the other side of me, and just gonna be like, oh, we don't mean your sanitation any harm. Sorry for the rocks. No harm done. Some harm done, and we can apologize for it. Yeah, that's my turn.
All right. Alibaba, it is your turn. As a reminder, you've seen a stone be catched from midair by a almost tentacle of water, which it splashed in and then floated towards the center, as if it would have fallen in water. And then a somewhat feminine form of being sort of formed up out of the water, and it still has a swirling kind of whirlpool beneath it.
So Alibaba is going to
Some battle music.
I I do not want to hurt you. You're such a kind lady. I will I'm going to cast hypnotic pattern. So you cast hypnotic pattern. See if it works.
All right, let's see.
In just a little while. Wait.
Each creature near you sees the pattern. Let's make a wisdom saving throw. Feels becomes charmed for the duration. Incapacitated, has a speed of 0.
We mean no harm to your sewer system.
Takes damage.
So the wisdom save.
Just make sure it's all
Wisdom
code.
save. Unless it's immune to charm. Which a lot of things.
It is not. I don't think.
I think the two conditions for this spell are it can see and that it is not immune to charm. And that it fails to save.
It's a wisdom
Puts
save.
out a glowing stick of incense. Yeah, wisdom save. So my spell.
You don't want to go for the crystal vial, which you canonically own? You got a little.
It's a steel flask.
It's steel. My bad.
I just said he pulls it out of the flask, right?
Still a little bit of incense.
So yeah, my spell
But yes,
save. I'm trying to figure out my spell save. DC is
16. It's listed on there.
If that's accurate. That's not always accurate.
Because it should be 8 plus your proficiency plus your main spellcasting. So if you have a plus 5 to charisma,
16
that
makes
is
sense.
correct. Because it would be
So
8
I believe
plus 3
she
because we're...
passes.
all
So
right.
your hypnotic pattern begins to swirl, and you see the kind of head area of her turn into a mini whirlpool as it follows the swirl of your hypnotic pattern. But then it just passes that swirl back down to its feet and back down to the whirlpool below it. And it seemingly is unaffected.
Well, that didn't work. I'm going to make my way towards the exit. Okay. And he sort of, if we, can leave the area.
I don't think we know exactly where
Depends on where you're
leaving the
trying to
area
go.
would be.
Well, I don't know. On the map, there's these two passages that head to the south. The south, but
You're free to head towards one of them.
yeah, he just sort of edges closer to that. And I tried to follow your lead, Keros. And that ends his turn.
All right. Move
Who's
it.
to say
It's your
it was
turn.
correct?
Yuzu is typing. Are we drinking this sucker?
I personally didn't / haven't. You are more than welcome to try.
That is to say, fight it? I think that's up to you, Anubis.
Yeah, your prerogative.
Or run, he says.
If
Yes,
if it
maybe
attacks,
it's best to ask this time before we get too far.
not entirely certain if it's going to attack us. If it is, I'm fine to fight it. If it's not, we can just walk away.
I'll tell you what,
I'm just sort of gauging.
Alibaba, why don't you give me a perception check as you glance down that corridor?
All right.
Natural 20. Nice. So you look down this corridor, and you can see that this is some kind of water outlet. But there is not an exit for people in this water outlet. There is just under the surface of the water, a iron grate of sorts that lets water pass through. This is certainly not going to be at least conveniently passable for you. And because you rolled so well, as you look around the sewers, you can see similar structural patterns around you, and you gather that there's probably a lot of outlets in this area that are not going to be exitable by humanoid creatures. So you gather that you're probably going to have to look around to find somewhere that you can actually get out of. I don't know if that affects y'all.
He's still with us. Flounder is still with us.
Yeah, Platter.
Not
he's
even.
He's
not
just a
even-
magic carpet now.
Not even in spirit, just like physically, just in the box.
He's like the butterfly. He has transformed into
Pupated.
a flying
But
carpet.
his fish form, he says. Yes, it's true. He's lost his swim speed. Unless I said he maintained it. I don't think I did.
No. I think I can fly, but can you fly in water? I mean, okay. Well, Alibaba just says, I think we are pretty much at a dead end, my friends. There is no flight in this flight or fight situation. So. Spiritual.
You choose to hold casting spiritual guardians if he's attacked. All right. And move. It looks like he's gonna move to the other side of that wooden bridge there.
Sounds good.
What do you see? You can roll perception as well if you'd like to glance down that other outlet, see if it's more simpatico.
Somebody juggling the series of dishes. Did everyone get my flatter pillar joke that I put in? Oh, crash.
Oh, I missed
What?
Crash? Oh no. Poochu, do you want? Oh, you're talking about real life crash. I think you meant a computer crash.
Oh, yeah. No. I was like, how is the stream still up if you crashed? No. Yes. It did sound like Joel was destroying every dish in his house.
I was just happening, my friend. Sorry.
No worries.
It was very full of stuff when we left.
It's even more full now.
Shout out
10.
to the satellite bro.
The auxiliary, the
Yeah. So
annex.
as you glance down this corridor, you see, kind of similar to what Alibaba saw, that this is a water outlet, not so much a person outlet. So neither of these are viable exits. He shouts, "This is a dead end!"
Oh, I get it, because you're a brave cleric. I've been really looking out for those ones a bit more. I know I've been obtuse about them before, but
That was what he intended, so perfect. All right. On the water weird's turn, it descends into the water and disappears from your sight.
oh, problem solved. I'm glad we didn't attack it. That was good play by us.
I hope you.
It is then going to reappear next to thou, Karos, and do a melee attack.
Gasp. Betrayal. I'm going to roll that d20.
So what does it
see
have
if
to roll? You have to roll something?
Yeah,
I don't
so
know how
I
that
have to
mirror
roll.
image works.
Let me double
So
check.
this its attack is its appearing, so it's going to have advantage because it was invisible when it attacked. I believe
Yeah.
that's kosher.
Okay. Yeah.
But
totally.
then it has to roll something. You have to roll something.
Yeah, so I have to roll to see if it attacks one of my duplicates.
Right.
I currently have 3 duplicates, so I have to roll a 6 or higher, and if I do, it targets one of my duplicates instead of
Okay.
me. So it
All right.
has targeted one of my duplicates instead of me. And my duplicate's AC is 11. So go ahead and make your attack. It has 1 HP.
I checked advantage, but it did not roll advantage. Wait, it did roll advantage?
It only had to beat an 11, so.
Can you tell to GM?
I can't see. It's a GM only roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I checked public. I don't know. Everything looks kosher on my end, so I'm not really sure why. It rolled an 11 and a 21.
Yeah, that hits my duplicate and destroys it outright. It has
Okay. Let me see. Can you see that?
yes.
Okay. So it attempts to grab your duplicate and pull it underwater with it. But as it wraps its massive, not in size, but literally has a lot of mass because it's a huge chunk of water. Pseudopod appendage on one of your duplicates. It shatters in its hand, forcing it to recoil. And as it does, it forms like a form as it comes to you, but once it shatters, it collapses into water, which just falls back into
So it like disappears.
and once it's fully submerged again, it's impossible to distinguish the water weird from the water that surrounds it.
Interesting. Okay, is it my turn?
And that is the end of its turn.
Okay. I am going to hold out my hand, and a little compartment on the bottom opens up, and I'm gonna a large amount of magical spectral dust shoots out, and I'm going to try to cast Fairy Fire.
Cool.
20-foot cube. So I'm going to try to get it. Let me double check what 20-foot cube here would be. Because if I can't see it,
That's right. You
what's
just have to make your best guess where
what's
you
the
think it
point
might be.
in? Okay, so 20-foot cube. I'm going to do it. That'll let that move us. So maybe I'll back up one and and then do something
I
similar.
mean, so that you and Amogus are not in it.
Correct.
Does it also hit Alan? Yeah, I guess that's true.
Does any
You have
creature
to
in the
travel
area?
through
Yeah.
it though. I think it
Dex
only lights
save.
things up on triggering them.
Yeah, it's only the one. It's everything will be lit up for the duration, but it's not an active effect like that. So if you would make
A dexterity
dex
saving throw?
save if they are in the radius.
And the DC on that is 16 as well.
Correct.
All right, as you cast this, you have this. You say it's like a spark. Why don't you describe it to me?
Yeah, it's like
Imagine what a success might look like.
Okay. So it's sort of a like puff of like like little flakes, almost like glitter, that attach to everything and like magically light it up in what's my path color again? Am I blue?
Blue.
I'm the blue ranger? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's gonna light up in a blue color. And wherever it coalesces on like an object, it shines a little bit brighter. So like it's sort of a magical glitter that kind of puffs out and can cover anything and kind of stick to it and magically make it glow.
All right. Well, as your glitter settles into the water, once the magic kind of feels something to grip onto, it goes ahead and sucks itself in and surrounds the water weird. And you can see this same feminine form kind of lying on its back, looking up at you. Where it was once transparent, it now, I don't know, like Chaos Zero from Sonic, has a defined edges. You can see that it did not move from where it attacked you previously. It is just laying there in the water, and it is no longer invisible.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a little wave. And
it does not return your wave.
Okay. And then I'll walk a little bit closer to the water.
Although waves are something water might do.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Cool. So, can you link Fairy Fire? I don't know if it's in your actual character sheet.
Yeah, I don't.
I just want to
normally
see
use
like exactly what it
spells
does.
like that.
Sure.
But yeah,
How do you link
will
it
you
from
move,
the?
or you're content where you are?
Normally, you
I moved
put it
more
on
towards it.
sheet,
Gotcha.
and then you just click it.
All right, spells.
Yeah, he uses a separate app for his spell check.
Alright. In that case,
We can probably just pull it up
there you
because
go.
I think it is in Roll20.
I put it in there.
Climate
You
change
linked it. Thank you, sir.
I'll try to figure out how to do that so I can do it easier because it's not a huge burden for me or anything. I don't know how to do
It's
it.
outlined in blue, green, or violet. Here you go, blue. Outline light, duration, dim light, Advantage. Affect creature.
Can't benefit from
Or
being
the object
invisible.
can't benefit from being invisible. Does that mean there's not advantage, but it is not invisible?
Any attack
it's
roll
not
against your
invisible when you
the
in that
affected.
view.
And the and the affected creature or object
Yeah.
can't benefit. All right.
Yeah.
So yes, attacks have advantage. It is not invisible.
It's like a glowing target now.
Mhm.
All right, so it is my turn. All right, so Alibaba is going to pull out his flask and kind of, and his arm is wreathed in Eldritch magic, I guess, and fire as he casts Eldritch Blast at
Cool.
the creature. Assuming 22 hits.
23, in fact,
20.
because you do have advantage.
And I get
Yes,
to
23 does hit.
I'm gonna do it again.
Ooh. Hiya, hiya, hiya.
That hits too. Wish there's critical
Yeah, so the
My goodness.
the first one,
It's 11. Second one's 18.
yeah, so it resists the fire damage, somewhat predictably.
Do I get the
Fair enough.
18?
Pardon?
Can you get a critical, like double damage or whatever on a critical with magic damage?
Mhm.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yep. Any attack roll you
So-
want.
The first one's going to be 9. And then the second one is 18.
Kind of fizzles out.
Yeah, so both of them you see enter the form of the water weird and like depth charges. And you can see that it can reform its body of water, but it's a little slower each time it happens as it's struggling to keep itself together.
Take that. And he moves back around, to his max movement. And that'd end his turn.
All right, good deal. You move closer. Are you trying to move in melee range? Or is...
I thought you said move closer. But
What? I'm not ordering you to. You just actually were moving closer. So.
Well, I've got to go back around this way, I think, to get away from
You
these.
can go wherever you please.
You can hop over these little divots if you'd like. We haven't actually investigated the ladder or anything like that, so you're also free to just hang out of melee range as possible until further notice.
I'm gonna risk it this turn and then go back down this direction.
You have advantage on that, Craig, if you do so. So roll again. Because it's
All right.
attack roll. Did Spirit Guardians go off?
I mean, he said if it's hacked, I don't. No.
Okay.
So you cast Spiritual Weapon. Let me get that up here. Sorry, I was paying attention to Alibaba. I was not paying attention to what your Sun Smasher appears. And it does
Your
hit.
Soul
Yes.
Gallia.
So go ahead and roll damage.
Oh.
Wait, can we roll damage on the spiritual
Damage
weapon
on spiritual weapon first.
before we
Go thrusting any webs. 1d8 damage plus. Yeah.
Okay,
Nice.
so it takes 9 force damage as your spiritual weapon Dalio dives in the water after it. Sheet's slow, that's why I'm stacking it. Okay. Well, if you want to do a melee attack, you have to get in melee range. I advise one does that.
Otherwise, you're just stabbing at air.
I'll say that even though it's down in the water a little bit, if you get to the edge of the water, you can reach it. Just for
Cool.
simplicity.
That was going to be a question on mine turn.
Yeah, I mean these are tubes for transporting water. I'll say that they're probably a little bit more than 5 feet deep, but not quite 10 feet deep. So I'll just say
Probably
hanging down,
stab down at it.
You can manage.
Sounds good.
Let's go fishing. All right, you do have advantage, so you can roll once more if you want to see that if you get a critical.
See if you get better than a 19.
But if you want to,
Probably could get charging damage if you backed up a little bit and then ran towards.
or we can just go with that.
Probably did it. It's just taken forever. It's a 5% chance he gets anything better than a 19, so we can probably move on and regroup in case the unlikely nat 20 happens.
Who's typing something? Can I retro get charging?
By backing up and then going forward. He had the movement for it, I think. It's 20 feet, right?
Tell you what, go ahead and roll one more attack roll and then re-roll damage anytime.
It's on its way.
That way everything's kosher.
Do. There we go.
That's fine. 22 and 28 both hit, so it doesn't matter.
So just roll
Just
that
roll damage one more
again.
time, and then we'll let it be charging.
Whisper words of wisdom. Let it be charging.
All right,
Boom, boom,
that's going to be
boom.
11 damage.
12, no?
12 damage, yes, thank you. I'm sorry. So, yeah, as your sword thrusts down into the water, it pierces in, and you can tell that the simple piercing of a weapon would not be the type of thing to hurt this beast very much. But then the jewel on the pommel in the shape of a spider pulses, and wave of magic shoots through the blade and allows it to do the full damage. You can see it's the magical nature of the sword that lets it do good damage. And you can see that the form of the water weird is physically ragged. Like now the places where it's been hit are almost gaps in its form as it is struggling to hold itself together in the water. It is going to have its turn now. And it will have me find its character sheet. That's the first step to any good damage round. A move assist typing. Something to keep in mind. It's going to. I'm reminded a tale about Moby. No,
Jonah eaten by the whale. Oh, he's stabbed. Okay, that makes sense. From Hell's Heart, he stabs at B.
Oh.
I say that quote a lot. I'm not actually 100% certain that that's from that.
Those like those, right?
Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah. Herman Melville. He wrote that.
All right, so it is going to make a constrict attack at
Against.
Paris again.
Okay, cool.
So go ahead and roll to see if he's going for you or one of your fellers. So I believe he destroys another one of your fellers, if I understand correctly.
Correct. I have one left. Next
So
time I'll have
yet
to
again
roll
grabs
11
for
or
you
9.
and grabs the wrong thing.
Oh man.
Grabs one of my mirror images, my illusions.
Do they
Sort
just
of-
disappear, or do they like get pulled in?
It's sort of a mirage type of situation where like I've put up sort of a gust of like shimmering like steam, and as it's grabbing at the different portions, like there's less of my sort of magical mirage steam available, so I can form fewer shadow clones.
And as you stand there and lose one of your clones, a masculine formed water weird erupts from the water and takes an advantage swipe at you, Karos. It appears from... Oh my goodness.
Mr. and Mrs. Weird.
They are.
Well,
They're the
it's
weirds.
gonna break my other thing.
Or Mr. and Mrs. Wasser.
It's gonna hit the other thing.
Yeah, it'll hit my last
Wasser
one
is
and
German for water.
It
And
will
disappear.
solidly hit it. And it will sink back in the water and disappear after destroying your last mirror image. And then it is your turn again.
Okay. I am going to walk up here. And I'm gonna take my fist and ram a booming blade down into Ms. Weird. At, I believe, advantage.
Feel free to roll attack. Yes, she is
Pew.
glowing.
Ugh.
That actually hits.
Okay, good.
She's hard to miss. She's a big lady.
All right.
And
12
your
thunder
booming
damage.
blade will pulse outward and disperse what's left of her body.
A little depth charge.
You see the bits of her glowing, and then all the glowy bits whoosh, get swept away by the current and disappear. As she
I'll go ahead
is
and
no more.
drop that fairy fire then. No reason to keep concentration.
Yes, I believe it might automatically drop. I don't know how that works.
So all the objects still shed dim light for X amount of minutes.
Oh,
it's like a
the
minute.
bricks and stuff would be like...
Yeah, exactly.
glowing.
So the area is still suffused in dim light. Love that Stargate Atlantis reference. Always a big fan
Shout
of
out to
Stargate
Stargate.
Atlantis references.
Anything else you'd like to do? You
That's
have
my turn.
moved the blade.
I done did my
Alibaba.
action.
Oh man.
You are up. You have definitively seen the feminine water weird be defeated. You are aware that there is a masculine water weird somewhere, but it is currently invisible by being one with the water.
I feel like we probably just made the other one very mad.
If they're even capable of that high thought function.
Well, Baba is going to attempt to stealthily make his way along this corridor here and head towards the east.
All right.
Make
Hit me with a stealth check.
He's just sort of keeping to the wall as much as he can.
All right. You have inched along this this wall.
So that would get him to here. And I think that's going to end my turn because that would have been my action.
Cool. A move is
Still the dead. Well, I mean, he doesn't. Or come this way, whatever.
I guess I'm going to cast Spiritual Guidance. Cool.
It's a good move.
Pause for description. I'll give you an aura. I believe it's a
Spiritual
15-foot
Guardians is a
radius.
3rd level spell. Got clerics and divine soul
Is that
sorcerer.
accurate? It's a
Yeah.
15-foot radius.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Let me do a paler. There we go.
We save 3d8.
Small Dahlia heads. Nice.
If they start their turn or enter it, we save or 3d8 damage, half on a successful save. Nothing else about it. I hate how there's a button that I can press that just spams nothing. Like,
You're like, terrific.
I do it so often. I'm like, yeah, show the spell description for me, and it's like,
We've been invaded by a Karo spot.
it's not me, guys. It's an imposter. It's the evil Karos who is a cleric. From the worm universe.
Right, cool.
Not an initial turn. It also may not even be there.
Yes. We have a bot in chat. Good to hear. We love the views.
There it is.
No, it would enter it if it entered it or if it started its turn in there. Which, while it's invisible, you wouldn't know about that. But I will address anything that needs addressed. Because it's not invisible like the spell invisibility. It doesn't break on damage or anything like that. So it'll all be behind the scenes.
Do you know what you're aiming for?
Yeah, you're gonna have to pick a square because you can't see it. Stand spotted, attack class turn. Okay, you strike the water very hard.
Same spot the spiritual weapon attacked, or same spot the water weird attacked from?
I assumed it was where he attacked last time.
Where the water weird attack. Oh, okay. Just right there. Cool.
Yeah, so
Fair enough.
you see no particular indication that you struck a water weird. But go ahead and roll damage. Your critical hit on the water.
You murder the water.
Do 15 damage to water.
That's insane.
Obliterate it. Yeah, so you
Well,
blow
the
a
water
huge hole out of the water, which
vaporizes.
is just immediately filled in by more water.
I like how it's Dahlia, so he's just like batting at the water like cats do, and they're like,
Yes. Are you moving at all, bud?
do so. Appreciate.
All right. I think it has
The
to
speed is
move
half.
and attack. I don't know if it can just move. Can it?
Mm-mm. It's got to move and then attack. You can't attack and then move with it because it's a bonus action to move it and then attack.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be back where it was.
Uh-oh, back in the lab again.
But it's still kind of in the area, so no worries.
Be within striking range.
Dalio licks his chops. Yeah, I'd like to think that the Dalio spiritual weapon just like aggressively drinks the water.
It's
For
just like
15
With a critical
15
hit,
damage
just,
for
just
uh,
drinking water like Julian used to, just like sticking his
yeah,
mouth
just
in
shove
it.
his head in and
We had a cat that used to, instead of lapping water, he would stick his whole mouth in.
just kind of suck at it like a
I've
straw.
never seen another cat do that. It was
It's very impressive, to be honest. He was quite an efficient drinker. Also, as I've recently learned, had a lot of brain damage. So
later then. Post car accident, but in a very sweet way, not in a sad way. All right.
we can't see when his turn is. So is it my turn or is it his turn?
It is his turn.
That's what I thought.
And you'll see that now as he pops up out of the water, and he'll make another advantage attack. Well, he attacks, and that's why you see him. I know the order of this is a little bit odd, but
I understand.
yeah. But you're aware of where he is due to the fact that he's attacking. Public advantage.
He does
Yeah.
take a little damage. Oh,
20
that'll hit.
Remarkable. You take 12 bludgeoning damage.
Great. I am going to use my repulsion shield.
Cool.
As a reaction, after being hit by a melee attack, spend one of the shield's charges and push the attacker 15 feet away.
Okay. And
So,
the forced movement should break the grapple.
Yeah, keep that in mind for whatever happens. But
so you would be grappled.
I think I am pulled, but then I also push him.
Yeah, I guess
we can sort damage out too. Oh, that's 12. Okay, 12 damage.
Yeah, 12 bludgeoning damage.
There.
Either
All right,
way.
cool.
Done
and done.
So
grappled and pulled
I think
5 feet towards the water.
You were pulled just into the water.
Mm-hmm.
It would try to drown you, but as soon as it pulls you under, your repulsion shield knocks it back.
Yeah.
And so you're in the water, but only just offshore or whatever. And it is
So, like, I'm like right there.
whatever 15 feet is. It's back here, kind of, I guess. Is that right?
Yeah. I think that's correct.
Well, maybe here.
Dang.
So my shield that I have kind of permanently attached to my armor, it has like a couple of little like slats that open up and just send like a sonic boom that kind of disperses the water 15 feet backwards. Which
Cool.
The non-water weird water then comes rushing back in and sort of because I am standing in the water.
That doesn't do any damage to it, does?
No. It does take the damage from Spirit Guardians, but it's neither here nor there.
That already happened behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It dives back underwater, and that's that. It is now your proper turn.
Mine proper turn. Well, I am going to take a little step up, kind of clamber onto, not in the water, right there. And
Sure, we'll
I'm
say
going
that
to
costs an extra 5 feet of movement to pull yourself up, but shouldn't really
Sounds
be
good.
relevant in this action.
Indeed. And I'm going to cast Thunder Wave towards kind of where I saw it last. So that's a 15-foot 15-foot cone originating from me. I mean 15-foot cube. My bad. So you just sort of pick right there and just zap it like that. Can I make it triangular? That doesn't mean anything in this world, does it? It's not really a cube.
Oh yeah, I think you might be able to draw a shape and rotate it, but
I've never really thought about that.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about it either. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just curious. Okay, there's the cube that I would technically do if I could place myself on a corner, but I think that's dumb, so I'm gonna not do that.
Fair enough. What is conditions?
So if it's in there, it takes
So go ahead and
con
roll
save.
damage, and let me know what he might need to do.
Yeah. So con save, or take 9 damage, push 10 feet further away from me. If he makes it, then he takes 4 damage instead.
And doesn't move, right?
Does not move.
Yeah. Alrighty. Everything has been addressed.
And I will use my
your
bonus
Thunder
action.
Wave forces a flow of water in the direction you hoped, and
I'm actually going to say
obviously the water settles back to. I mean, it's a massive amount of flowing water currently. So
I have Thunder Wave due to my armor artificer thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like I actually use my shield for both of those. It's the exact same mechanism. I just like repulse him away, and then I like brace myself a little bit more after getting up and do the same sort of repulsion just because I've got it out. Because it's all push. It's all push, baby. That's what
push
they say.
energy.
Push energy from the push dimension.
Yes.
Sick Marvel
Alibaba.
references for all you huge nerds out there.
Your turn.
so Alibaba. I want to establish whether he had Newt. I'm pretty sure he had Newt, just like already.
I don't think anything's happened to Newt, so Newt should still be a snake and available to you.
All right, so I'm gonna move 30 feet.
I'll go ahead and put him on the map.
So Alibaba just runs his full. Well,
I sort of forget what happens to Newt every time, so like there's a good chance that he has died in almost every session that has happened, like, and I'm just forgetting it. We're just like, yeah, Newt's here, right? I'm sure one of us would remember.
I don't think there's been too many AoE attacks that would have killed
Not really.
Newt.
my friend, there may be, but I will not be
Because
running
what
away
combats
from
have you
your
really
fights.
It's not like he disappears after a rest or anything.
Yeah, he was a part of the. He was a part of both the graveyard combat and the bat combat that Alibaba
Yeah, I'm
was
gonna say
in,
that
and
he's not the sort of magic
He's
that
probably
would have
fine.
been dispelled.
I don't think he ever really would have gotten involved.
And they didn't
either,
do
'cause
any AoE attacks. They were all direct.
He wasn't really there for that, so we can say he hung out at the doorway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like to think of him as like, he just kind of is on Alibaba's person, like maybe wrapped around his arm or something, or staff.
You can also poof them out of existence as much as you want to.
Amubis was asking if you saw anything.
And he said, I did not see anything more important than joining my friends in the battle.
Ooh, there you go.
So
Nobility,
the
honor among
I
the
must make
Among Us?
And he depending on whether Newt, I can carry him to this point and let him go, or
Yeah, totally.
So he's gonna
I think he's a tiny creature.
he's gonna kind of slip Newt off the staff and into the water, and Newt's gonna swim 30 feet. And and then Alibaba is gonna cast. Let me say this: before Newt moved, he readied the Shocking Touch spell that he can cast.
Okay.
Newt.
Shocking
Yeah.
Grasp.
Yeah, and as Newt arrives, kind of in this general area, he's gonna just randomly discharge the Shocking Touch.
Electric
Through
eel
Newt.
style.
Mhm.
Cool. Yeah, go ahead. Roll attack and roll damage.
Okay.
We have a historic difficulty with invisible enemies. It's possible he's getting reinforcements, and we're about to do all this again.
Right. Does he make a Newt noise? Of course.
So that's a 14. Is it? I guess with disadvantage.
Yeah, with disadvantage.
Let me
It's
read.
either. I mean, it's the same
Yeah.
flat roller with disadvantage.
I mean, just I guess point of order. It is technically disadvantage.
Mhm.
Should be 2d8 damage. Electric water.
Baby, you're electric water. Whoa.
You can go ahead and roll damage.
I can't remember where the Newt sound is.
Oh, you were looking for.
Oh,
sound.
on your little soundboard.
Yeah.
So, like a wee electric eel, he slithers over and shocks the water around him. There's no indication of what that might have done, but
Okay.
he is done as commanded.
Thank you. Newt.
Anything else you'd like to do, Alibaba?
That'll conclude my turn.
Amubis, it is your turn, master.
There
No,
it is. Fantastic.
Amubis says, lol.
Lol.
He just says that out loud.
Laughing out loud.
Laughing out loud, laughing out loud.
Crying emoji, laughing emoji.
Headed north, he says.
It is a good enough plan. Good as any.
I give Anubis a solid shrug. No idea.
Although I
Haven't the foggiest.
the water's going
All
in
our
the
shrugs.
direction of that.
Shrugs all around. Shrug City.
Alright, Anubis will advance
You would want
past
sewer
Heroes.
water to flow away from a city, typically. You know.
I don't think this is the sewer water yet. I think
Just
this
move.
is.
Does that mean you're not going
Or
to take
like
an
an
action?
Aquifer.
You
Hold
just
the
do the
dodge
dodge.
action.
You just
Yeah,
do
you
the
might as well
dodge.
just do it. It lasts until your next turn. So we'll just say you do the dodge action. That's good. Good dodge.
You do the dodge. You do the monster dodge.
You have a bonus action available, so if you want to do something with your spiritual weapon, you kind of might as well. All right, he can only move 20 feet, so you can move him 20 feet wherever you want, I guess.
Moving 20 feet. He moves at 20 feet away.
Are you gonna attack the water there?
That would be a Newt, isn't it? Might accidentally kill Newt.
See? Yeah,
It's small, right?
I don't know how that works. Yeah,
It's technically the same.
If-
Same.
Newt's, I believe, tiny. I believe he's a tiny
Hmm.
creature. But I don't know, because like a tiny creature can move through a larger creature's space. But can you
Yeah,
attack
no,
the
that's true.
space that a tiny creature is in without hitting it? I assume so.
Oh wow! I didn't realize this. It has blind sight. Within
Newt
10
does?
feet. Yeah.
That's. I don't know how that
Newt has
interacts
blind
with.
sight?
Yeah, because I think maybe that's simulating like this sense of smell or the
The
tasting
snake's
of
the snake's electricity like detection thing.
Yeah, whatever that thing they can do. They're snaky sense,
I think
right?
I think they sense electromagnetic fields with their tongue, which sounds like a fake thing, but I think is a true thing.
Huh, that's interesting, because like how, I don't know how that would operate if you're not actively looking through his senses. I don't know, when you cast
Like
a spell
Newt-
through him,
Yeah,
does it
I
use
guess I
his
wouldn't
sight,
know.
or does that use your sight?
I wouldn't know because we're not like our consciences aren't the same. You know, it's not like I know what he
Right.
does.
If he has blind sight, he would be able to see an invisible creature.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, when you're casting a spell through him, does it use his senses, or it seems more
Probably
likely
he
to use your
probably he
senses.
directs. Yeah, he probably directs Newt where to attack. I don't think Newt can make that choice on his own.
Mm-hmm.
Like if Newt was using his poison bite attack, it would probably use his senses. But if he's casting your
Fair.
spells, it would use your senses.
That sounds.
Because it's
I
an
would
action
say
to look
that'd be
through.
too kind of OP. It's almost
It's an
like
action to look through his senses, right?
Yeah, I'd have to use my action to look through the senses instead of attacking.
I think that's how I'll rule it, is if you're casting a spell, you're using your senses. If he's using his personal attacks, he'll use his senses. And if you
Yeah.
choose to look through his senses, you can take advantage of that.
Because would you be able to do it like around a corner that you couldn't see? Like if Newt was fully behind something, would you be able to cast a spell through him? Because I think that's the same thing.
Yeah,
Like if
I
a,
don't know,
if
I'd
a
have to look
familiar
only touch spell, but
if your familiar was fully behind like 3 sheets of solid adamantium, would you be able to cast Shocking Grasp on the other side of it? No idea what's on the other side. Haven't got any information about it. But your owl can see them.
Your familiar can deliver the spell as if it had cast the spell.
Okay, that sounds. Oof. Find familiar is such a Yu-Gi-Oh wall of text.
Yeah. As an action, you can see through your familiar's eyes and ears and what it hears until the start of your next turn. Any gaining the benefits of any special senses. During this time, you're deaf and blind. As an action, you can dismiss. Da, da, da. Okay. I think this is just a DM ruling, man. That they don't seem to really say.
Yeah, I mean, I read as if it did cast the spell to mean like, it, if it can see it. Maybe if he's like super far off, he wouldn't be able to, attack it. But
I mean,
if he's within range and he commanded like, hey, do it at the water spirit guy.
he may know where it is and may be able to hit it, but we wouldn't know whether he hit it or not.
Yeah,
That's fair.
that's the only question. I mean, you can see based off of your previous booming blade that it's irrelevant whether if it hit or not, it would have hit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the only question is, would you be made aware of where it was? If
I don't.
And I'm going to
believe
say
so.
no.
Yeah.
For now, because it takes a whole action to sense through his senses. I feel like that's an intentional function.
That's the benefit of it. Yeah.
This is a peer-reviewed journal entry. Yes, as all of my D&D sessions are. I have one way of DMing.
Playing
Okay,
it like
so
a game of
Mubis'
Munchkin with less
Mubis'
vitriol.
turn is over. Amubis, point of order. Just go ahead. I believe you roll damage again for spiritual guardians.
Mhm.
It doesn't maintain, right? You roll it each time.
Yeah. Every discrete portion of damage.
So yeah, Putu, go ahead and roll spirit guardian damage again, please. And behind the scenes, things will or won't happen.
Things will go on.
This is the magic of being a DM. Everything cool requires extra work from you, person.
Yeah. So
Pretty
true.
much.
And your job is to resist the urge just to make everything straight melee attacks damage because it's more convenient for you.
Yeah. That's why goblins are so fun, because you're just like, yeah, they're a bunch of little guys. They're all stabbing you.
To a Goblin Slayer campaign, where you just do
Only
increasing
fighting goblins.
numbers of goblins.
It's more and goblinier.
Also, point of order says Amubis.
Wow. Huge amount of damage there.
We're closing in on 10:30. Yes, we are.
Indeed.
Um,
Finish this combat, and
yeah. What are you guys feeling?
we're about
Do
to
you feel-
murderize this guy. I'm
feel
fine
like
to
you want
keep
to finish this
going to
combat?
finish the combat.
I know some people have work
Oh,
tomorrow.
yeah. That's fine. We can finish.
We're cool. Yeah, if you're cool, Putu, I say we finish this combat and then we make other
Newt's pumped
make
about.
other. Okay, cool.
Does another wisdom save for that damage, but
Yes, I have done what I need to.
is that the correct spell save for 14? Do you have a? That's right. I forgot. Amubis has less
went
wisdom.
next. Yeah.
Yeah.
For Newt for okay. Thank you, Anubis. Newt is very grateful.
Anubis.
Mm,
Thank you, area.
This water weird is going to pop up.
Oh.
oh gosh.
Oh, dear.
He's going to make a move for Alibaba. And
He might have been hit by it.
a 19.
Oof.
Yeah, a 19 is gonna hit.
You're going to take 14 bludgeoning damage, and you're pulled down into the water.
Oh no. That was my drowning person impression.
And he's going to yank you under the water.
Oh my gosh.
Whoop. You can now, you can see Alibaba struggling in the water, but the water weird itself is still invisible.
Mm.
But there's some
Some
knowledge that
indication.
it is holding
Yeah.
it underwater. It is holding it underwater.
Makes sense.
Look up drowning rules. while you decide what to do.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm going to move over.
Let's look up drowning rule. I think it's something to do with your constitution.
Move over.
Let's see. Hold its breath for a number of minutes equal to 1 plus con modifier.
Oh,
So a huge amount of time.
yeah, 4 minutes.
Yeah, Karos, it's your turn.
Cool. Well, I move over to it,
combat.
Move.
and I'm just gonna try to punch the water weird, I suppose, sort of around Alibaba, if that's possible.
Yeah.
How we doing that?
Okay, so there's a couple ways you could do this. Basically, it's a large creature, so it takes up 10 by 10, you know? And though the grid doesn't fit up perfectly, this corridor is about 10 feet across. So you could attack the horizontal space where Alibaba isn't,
Mm-hmm.
because he's
You
kind
mean
of
the vertical?
vertical on this map, because he's kind of down to that size where he just got
Yeah.
pulled in, so you could attack the near side.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Yes.
I'll,
You're doing a
I'll
regular
give that a
punch. You're
shot.
doing a booming blade.
I'm doing 2 regular punches because I want one of them to hit, and who knows?
Sounds good. Yeah. So
Disadvantage.
disadvantage. Regular
14.
punch that will hit.
12.
The second one misses.
Boom. 7 thunder damage.
So yeah, your attack.
And it does the little BP thing. I'm not entirely certain how that works underwater, but distracting pulse happens.
Yeah,
so if it tries
the
to
pulse
attack anybody
goes
but
down.
me,
And due to the nature of Hex Tech, it transforms itself into a buoy and sits on top of the surface of the water, emitting a pulse.
cute. All right, well that's me turn.
You know how Hex Tech is. Alibaba.
Hey.
And so you see Alibaba.
Because you're being, I don't know how grappled and invisible works. I'm assuming you don't have disadvantage if you're actually being grappled by something. I guess not technically. You still have disadvantage.
I mean, I'm underwater, right?
I think that you can be grappled by something that isn't physically the creature. Like, I kind of was envisioning that he was just like pulling the water down so that you couldn't ever really get your head above
That's true.
water. He's
I
not
think you do
technically
still
grabbing.
have disadvantage.
Because
depending on what.
he's not like got a thing on the throne. It was like holding him
Right.
down. It's just that the water
Yeah.
is rushing in a way that just makes it so you can't get a breath
Yeah.
So
All right.
or move.
Alibaba is kind of white knuckling his flask, and you see him flip the top off, and black smoke comes out and envelops his entire body as he casts. And I don't know if I can cast it now that I think about it. Well,
What are you trying to do?
I mean, it's got a verbal component
I don't think
underwater.
specifically verbal components can't work underwater. I believe you can still do it.
Okay. And
But,
he casts Arms of Hadar, which is he's going to cast
Nice.
it at level 2.
You can speak underwater and not die. Yeah, you're good.
Nice.
Let me put the description in
Yeah,
there.
I'd like to see the description.
So
You invoke the power of Hadar.
the shadows around his covering his body kind of burst out away from him and would force away, whatever may be holding him if they fail a strength check.
Cool. I love all the Hadar spells. Very cool.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm sort of envisioning almost like black, like tentacle kind of things, like just sort of shooting off me. Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, so he passes. He still takes. I guess it's.
That was Karos.
That was me.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm also within 10 feet.
I just assumed it said batter all creatures. I guess maybe you're a creature.
I am, in fact, a creature.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying-
Yeah.
My
Well, I
bad.
mean, you can decide where you put it.
No, within 10 feet of you.
Oh, okay.
I would,
creatures within
in a way, I don't know if Alibaba is really aware of your presence.
Yeah, no, I think he's just doing,
Yeah, totally,
doing
that's good.
stuff.
I like it, man. Just survive.
If you roll that damage, I'll take it.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and roll that damage.
I'm pretty sure it's just 6.
2d6.
2d6, I believe.
So it would be 9. If you maybe go up, it's done the damage already.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I rolled
Okay,
pretty
gotcha.
terribly.
And
on
you
this
cast
thing.
it, and you cast it at a higher level. Okay, cool. So 9 damage halved is 4.
Yeah, I was really just hoping to.
That's weird. I don't really understand what happened.
You should be rolling 1. It's a first level conjuration spell, right? So it should be.
Well, I
4d6.
rolled it at level. Oh, I actually rolled it at level
Because you're a warlock.
3. I meant to roll it at level 3.
Yeah.
Not
So you
low.
should have 1 more d6 that you add to that.
Okay. Let me do that real quick. D6.
Okay. So 13 damage total, which halves down to 6, which I took. Just my temp HP. That's fine.
So yeah, these tentacles go out from you and indiscriminately begin thrashing in your general area, and they particularly strike the walls of the area you're in and kind of stabilize you so you can kind of gather yourself a bit better. In their flailing, they do manage to take glancing blows at Karos, but he's not too minding in that he knows you're in a lot more danger than he is. He kind of takes the hit in stride. You can certainly
drops my
see that
force
they
field, that's
are
it.
bisecting the water around you, so
Okay.
you can
I
conclude
think-
they had some effect. You still feel yourself being pulled
Yeah.
under them. Anything else from you?
Yeah, he was just, he would command Newt to his side and then end his turn.
Cool. Amoebus. Puju is typing. He calls for Alibaba and rushes
Alibaba
to
responds.
the Remember, your spiritual weapon is incorporeal, so it can occupy the same space as a character. That's fine. All right. Amoebus and his spiritual weapon are going to occupy the space that he is on.
He doesn't need to breathe.
Yeah, sure.
Step,
Cool.
step.
Yeah, I'll say
The
that you can
disadvantage.
attack the same spot that Karos did. If you'd like.
Holding. Steady.
And just when you're ready, you can do your attack and your spiritual weapon attack at disadvantage.
Steady.
I love invisibility that's not dependent on the invisibility spell. Feels good,
Yeah,
man.
it is. This happens to my other friend when I play in my other campaign. Her rolls are always very delayed, and I don't quite understand.
Yeah,
You just press the button and
I've
it
never
just
had an issue.
takes forever. It's wild. Oh, thrust web misses.
Yeah, so let's do one more spiritual weapon for the disadvantage. And don't forget you can toggle disadvantage on your character sheet in the future if you care to. Spiritual weapon hits, thrust web misses, sadly. So you, well, I mean, presuming it's there, which she's grappled there.
That's near max.
Lovely hit. You and your Dalio spiritual weapon both strike the water. Again, with the magical pulse dispersing a significant portion of water, and Dalio aggressively drinking. JK. Also, sort of charging and turning into this force of energy blasting through the water. You both disperse. Yes, Newt is safely out of stabbing range.
All right. Everybody's very concerned for Newt.
You've
No
spared
other
Newt.
reason.
The fey creature pretending to be a snake is fine.
Pretending to be a snake who also pretends to be a sparrow sometimes. And also pretends to be a salamander.
All right. And as the water weird begins its turn, you see it start to pull Alibaba away, and the small portions that are left of it, as it's trying desperately to assemble itself enough to drag him away, you see the spirit guardians begin to slurp up the small amounts of it, and
Little
one by one,
Dalios.
pick him apart. And Alibaba, you feel yourself released from the grasp of this creature.
Hey.
He swims up, bursts out of the water.
I won't even make you roll damage. He had 1 hit point left. Any amount of damage will...
a minimum of 3 damage. So even if he had made the save, it would be a minimum of
I will
1.
go ahead and close out the turn order. I'm going to turn off your aura.
Ba, 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 ba.
Alibaba bursts out of the water and kind of like spews water out of his mouth.
This is a little
Your least
pop-up.
favorite place to be. As that is the end of that combat. And as our heroes survive yet another peril of the Underdark, that's where we're going to end our session tonight. We will be back next Monday, and I will pass it off to Putu if he wants to sign off with any words.
Yes, thank you, PSLMI. What a great campaign. It was very fun to use Spiritual Guardians because I enjoyed using that as a way to
It's a fun spell.
stave off invisibility items. So that was cool. I actually felt useful. Most combats, I feel like you guys are taking the lead. So let's see. We apologize for the technical difficulties. We will get that sorted. So, but I appreciate you clicking on us and listening to us either now or later. We got a lot of interest in the Divinity stream, even though it was a full 5 hours. So that was fun to do, and we appreciate the dues there. Make sure you check us out on social media. I try to keep all the updates on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, so follow us there. And then keep watching our YouTube channel. We keep things updated there as well. Reminder for merch, and reminder that we have a Discord. We didn't really blow it up much this time with memes, but, you know, we'll maybe another time. So, join
I feel
us
like
next
this campaign is less meme heavy than the alternative ones.
week. That's true. Join us
I feel
next
like-
week
I feel
as
like
we
Tris-
do Frog and Toad, and we do Unbeaten Path on Monday.
All right.
Good times.
All right. Thank you, guys. Everybody have a wonderful night. And this is Putu and
Good night.
Crew signing off.
Goodbye, chat.
Great.